Good morning, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein with cooler weather coming, I hope. I've got some recipes to warm you up. Join me because I'm pairing soups with sandwiches today on SoFlo Taste. Soups on, and sandwiches too. How fun is that? Good morning, Taste Buddies. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and welcome to the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida here in Coconut Creek. Some things just go together. Adam and Eve, Anthony and Cleopatra, Taylor and Travis. Are they even still together? Okay. Well, no matter. Well, anyways, so does soup pair perfectly with a sandwich. So today I thought it would be fun to give you some of my recipes for some other famous duos. So let's get cooking. You can probably guess the first one, right? Tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich. Let's jump right into the soup. I'm gonna heat up my pot. I'm actually heating up the cast iron pan for the sandwich at the same time. Let's throw some butter into the pot for the soup. I have some chopped up onion. I have some shredded carrots. Let's go ahead and get these cooking a little bit. I'm gonna throw in a couple of sprigs of thyme, fresh thyme, which we will pull out afterwards. Once this gets a little softer, we're gonna add the tomato paste in, but let's jump over to the sandwich real quick. So this is just a nice Italian white loaf, and I cut two somewhat even slices. And what I do is I butter the outside of the bread. I don't even throw butter in my pan, okay? And for cheese, I grabbed sliced cheddar, Gruyere, and Fontina. If I'm gonna do grilled cheese, I'm gonna go all the way with it. So I have slices of each going on to the sandwich, and this is gonna be a bit of a cheesy beast. Okay, make sure your slices of bread always go in the same direction, right? So that it's an even match, and then let's go ahead and start making that. Never go too high at first because, you know, you want your cheese to melt, but you don't want to have burnt edges on your grilled cheese. All right, so the onions and the carrots are just starting to get nice and soft. I have a little bit of chicken stock warming up. I have a little bit of heavy cream warming up. Let's go ahead and add the tomato paste to the pan. Always want to cook out your tomato paste no matter what you're making. Cook out the tomato paste. If not, it will taste like tomato paste. When I say cook out tomato paste, it basically means to get it really nice and hot and let it cook out on the bottom of the pan of whatever it is you're cooking, which I'm doing now. It will basically become one with the vegetables. This is how we make a lot of stocks that are nice and dark and roasty. We always cook out the tomato paste. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is add a big old can of very finely crushed tomatoes. This is a good tomato, good quality, but it does not have basil in it. All right, once that gets cooked out just a little bit, no fear, by the way, we are gonna puree all of this together, so it will be one beautifully creamy pureed soup. I like adding carrots because it brings out a little bit of sweetness, and as you know, tomatoes in the can get a little bit acidic, so we're gonna add a little bit of sugar, but not as much as a lot of recipes because of the carrot. I'm gonna add some chicken stock, and my cream has just come to a boil. All right, so what we're gonna do is, you guys take a quick break. I'm gonna allow my bread to caramelize all over both sides and let this soup cook for about 15 minutes, and then I'll puree it, but I'll do that with y'all, and I'll add the cream together with you too. So come right back, because we have quite a lot to do today.
Come back to SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida. Chef Michelle is just getting started here on Local 10.
Welcome back to So Flo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and with the coming of colds and flu season, so does the soup and sandwich season. So today I'm giving you some of my favorite pairings, and maybe they're ones you may not have thought of. So let's get cooking. All right, so tomato soup. That's the first thing we made. I've already been pureeing it. It's pretty much done. I'm gonna add a little bit of warm cream. Let's puree it one more time. While you were gone, I seasoned it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Pretty simple, right? That's our tomato soup. So let's go ahead and ladle that into our bowl for our first beautiful pairing. Now, just so you know, for the next sandwich, I've sent off 2 beautiful slices of seeded bread to be toasted, because I don't happen to have a toaster here right now. So that's my tomato soup, but I have a feeling most of my eyes will be on my gorgeous grilled cheese, cheesy sandwich with 3 types of cheese. Heck yeah. All right. So I think that is a pretty gorgeous pairing to begin our day with. The next pairing, I decided it would be kind of interesting to make a vegetarian pairing for you. This is a sandwich I created years ago for myself, and once you learn how to make this, you won't believe how delicious this is. People that couldn't care less about vegetables crave this sandwich. It's so delicious. So let's do the first part of this, which is the pickled radishes. To make a pickled radish, I basically take cider vinegar, fennel seeds, black peppercorns, a bay leaf, some mustard seeds, sugar, salt. Let it just come to a boil, and then you pour it over some sliced radishes, which I have here. But I already have those made over here. The next thing, shaved carrots, which basically you just peel a carrot and you keep on peeling it, and you get these gorgeous shavings. We're gonna take an avocado, and we're gonna mash it up a little bit with a fork and some salt and pepper, and it really doesn't need much else. Okay. Let's get all of that. So here's the salt, here's some pepper, and this will go on one side of the toasted bread. Next, we've got alfalfa sprouts, which I found that some people just don't like and don't buy. I love them. It reminds me of the 80s when every sandwich had alfalfa sprouts on it, like every single one. Anyway, it's really good on this sandwich. Next, I'm gonna take a little bit of Dijon, combine it into some really good mayo. I'm a little picky about my mayonnaise. I don't like sweet mayonnaise at all, but I'm open to other ones. Okay, finally, we've got cheddar cheese, which is why this is not vegan, it is vegetarian. So to go with this recipe for the sandwich, we've made a pumpkin soup. Now, I've made the pumpkin soup on the show before, and we're gonna show it to you in a minute, but all you have to do is go into the SoFlo Show's webpage and find that beautiful squash soup. It's really, really good. It's a pumpkin squash soup. So I told you about making easy pickle. This has all come to a boil. These are my radishes. Pour it over it, and you got pickle. It's that easy. Just let it cool to room temperature. Make sure before you put it into your fridge. Amanda, you got my toast? Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so let's make this beauty of a sandwich. One side will be the avocado smash. So I'm going to put some mayo on the other side of the bread. Just like so. Okay. Then we're going to use this beautiful mash of avocado to kind of nest our carrots. And make sure you push them down so that they really stick onto that avocado. Okay? Then we're going to do our radishes on the other side, the pickle. So whatever is kind of tender here and soft and delicate in flavor, you've got pizzazz here, right, with your pickled radish. You have a lot going on with all that flavor of the spices and the vinegar. Then we've got our sliced cheddar for a little bit of fat. Fat, vinegar, fat, and now sprouts. And the sprouts are going to just cut through that delicious cheese. All right, so check out our beautiful soup. This is a pumpkin squash soup, and it has a little bit of pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, and a little dot of creme fraiche. All right, so we're going to put the avocado and carrot topping over the rest of the fillings. Give it a good slice. And let me open it up so you can really see how beautiful all these layers are. Say goodbye to your regular tomato and lettuce, and hello to this beauty. You gotta try it. All right, come right back. I got my last combo, and you're gonna love them both. We'll see what's cooking on SoFlo Taste right after this. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. We're here at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek, a wonderful and beautiful place committed to the education of our children. Visit jasouthflorida.org for more information or call 954-979-7100. I'm happy to be welcomed into their kitchen. Now back to the food. Okay, everybody, let's make our last dish, which is a chicken and cheese quesadilla with black bean soup. Now, instead of doing fresh black beans, we have a short time together. I'm going to do a little cheater recipe using some canned beans. But I just want you to know, you go to my restaurants, it's going to be with dried beans, okay? Just so you know. At home, maybe not so much. So let's start out making a sofrito. So a little bit of olive oil, some onions, some red peppers, some green peppers, some minced garlic, a couple of bay leaves, which they probably cooked into that black beans, but you can never have enough bay leaves as far as I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and stir this around a little bit. All right, while that gets settled, let's go ahead and jump into the quesadilla, and then we'll get back to our soup. I went ahead and made a chicken quesadilla because it's just so much better that way. My son loves chicken quesadillas, so I figured why not. I went over to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, and I got some roast chicken to make it easier on myself, and I basically just took off the skin and I pulled the meat. So my friends over at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market want to remind you about two events. First of all, they continue to donate to the Florida Breast Cancer Foundation, 10 cents per pound of poultry breast products sold, and oh my goodness, stone crab season is finally here. Woohoo! And they've got all sizes. So, two good reasons to visit Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Place an order or call them at 954-983-6831. Go to DelawareChicken.com. But my favorite is just go there, get inspired, shop, and have fun. Make sure when you go, tell them Chef Michelle sent you. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of butter. You can always spray your pan instead if you'd rather. But to me, a quesadilla and grilled cheese sandwiches are really good with butter in the pan. So let's put that down first. I always start with the cheese so that anything you put on top of it will actually kind of melt into it and stay. And I get a little crazy with cheese, so if you like to add a little less, then by all means. I love some scallions in my quesadilla. And then finally, some of this beautiful pulled chicken. Don't go too crazy. You don't want this to be heavy. And I don't mean heavy meaning like rich. I mean heavy meaning physically heavy, because then it won't flip nicely. Okay, I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and top it with another tortilla and let that sit and get a little bit happy in there. All right, let's come back to our soup. So everything is getting a little soft. Onions are just starting to become a little bit translucent. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of dry white wine. And because it's a small amount, it's going to go ahead and reduce pretty much all the way rather quickly and totally dissolve. I also have a little bit of sugar and white vinegar. It's the kind that you would, clean your house with or cook with. I love white vinegar. I think it's great for pickling. I think it's great for cleaning, but I love it in my black beans because to me, it actually adds that kind of umami, that flavor that you can't totally describe. It just wraps around your whole palate. Just delicious. So I add a little bit of that with the sugar just for a little balance. I'm also, for more umami, I'm going to add sazon completa, allspice, and then, well, it's not allspice like the spice, it's everything spice. And then a little bit of cumin. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of that vinegar, a little bit of that sugar, and finally, the soft, tender stems of the cilantro. Not all the way down, but right below the leaves. Add that in there. Let's go ahead and add the can of beans with the liquid and all. It already smells, oh, so good. I think I'm just gonna add a little bit more from here. There we go. So I don't know if you knew the trick to making black bean soup out of black beans. It might have enough liquid. I have a little bit of chicken stock on the side just in case, but you always have a blender nearby because what you do is you blend about a quarter to a third of whatever is in this pot, completely blended, and add it back to the soup, or in this case, I'm just gonna do it right in the pot. That way it's actually a soup and not a side of black beans. So that's the little trick. Let's see how the quesadilla is doing. Beautiful. I'm starting to get a little bit of cheese on the edges, which is exactly what I'm looking for. My heat is on really nice and low, but I'm using a cast iron pan, which just holds the heat in so beautifully. There's really nothing like it. I highly recommend going cast iron for quesadillas instead of non-stick. It just holds the heat better. My soup needs about 5 to 8 minutes to really get going. The quesadilla is almost done, so as soon as you come back, let's go ahead and blend a little bit together, top it with some yummy stuff, and bring this together into the beautiful marriage that it is. I'll be right back here after the break. I hope you will too, because soup is on.
Can't remember what I topped my ceviche with or the recipe for my mother's flan? Go to SoFloShows.com and look it up. You'll find every recipe from apple crisp to zabaglione and everyone in between. That's SoFloShows.com. SoFlo Taste returns right after this.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. So I'm just finishing the black bean soup. Like I told y'all, the difference between just a side of black beans or frijoles and the soup is that you puree a little bit of black bean soup, keeping some whole and some pureed. So I'm just gonna ladle some into this dish. Our quesadilla turned out beautifully. It's nice and golden. And I was thinking a lovely topping for this soup could be some queso fresco and of course the leaves of the cilantro that we haven't used yet, which can go right here. And some quesito. So that's it. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Soup was made to be paired with a sandwich, and it would make me happy to know that I gave you a new pairing. So give them a try, because this soup and sandwich season will be the best. Now, next week, I'm keeping my soup pot handy because I'm making an entire meal in one pot. Join me for great one-pot meals, including shrimp pasta, steak with veggies, and fish in a papillo. One pot, a whole lot of compliments. Now let's check in with our friend Hunter Frankie.
That sounds like a great idea.
Hi,
Sorry.
Hunter.
Hello, how are you?
Good. You want to try a quesadilla?
I do, but first, let's see what we're doing tomorrow on
find
So Full
out.
Health. How about this for tasty food, Michelle? Your soups and sandwiches look great, and tomorrow on SoFlo Health, we're trying some vegan dishes that won't have you missing the meat at all. We'll learn about the benefits of having fresh herbs at your disposal and celebrate spooky season at a haunted house. It's all right here tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. for SoFlo Health on the one and only Local 10. So remember, that's tomorrow, 12:30, right here on Local 10.
We'll all be watching.
Great.
So make sure you get a
miss you
quesadilla,
now.
by the way. So Taste Buds, I've had a good time this morning, and I hope y'all have too. Take care, and I'll see you here next week. Goodbye, mwah, and good taste, Hunter.
Very good day.
Good taste to you guys, too. Soup or star?